Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa Asaya Anusaya Jnanam iti Buddhassa Vishesha Jnanam. It is said that the Buddhas, as the omniscient ones, that means an all-knowing spiritual master who has climbed to the very summit state of spiritual development and perfection. So one of their abilities is that they are able to know the dormant tendencies both in the good and that is the negative as well as positive side of a being. Now, the ability to know, you see, what goodness lies in a person and what evil force lies in a person. This ability enables the Buddhas to formulate a certain path, a certain modus operandi, a certain method of operation by which he can help a being to be liberated from the bondages of samsaric existence. Now, I will give you an example. There was a monk who was known as Chula Panthaka. He had a very wonderful story. He was born of a extremely in a very rich family actually. His mother was the daughter of one of the richest men in Savatthi, in Rajagahar. And she was the only daughter. Now she eloped with a servant, ran away, and then went to some forest areas, and there they lived with this person. And she had two children. One was, you see, Mahapanthaka, the other one Chula Panthaka. Now, the word Panthaka means Patha is way, path, road, highway. Now, when the mother was in the, she was in the family way and she had conceived and she was about to give birth to a child, she insisted that she must go back to her parents and there have the child. But the husband was so frightened that the moment they go in, he is in trouble. He is going to be in great trouble. So he tried to, he told his wife that no, let us get it done here and so on. And so when he went out to the forest to cut, firewood, and that is how he made a living. Every day he would, he would bring out bundles of firewood and sell these in the villages nearby and live. So now when he went out to collect the firewood, this lady ran away and on the way gave birth to this child, and so he was known as Panthaka, one born on the highway. So once he was born, the husband then, when he returned, he found out the wife has run away. So he ran behind and then somehow overtook her on the way. So when he reached her, she has already given birth to the baby. So he said, well, what's the use of going back now? Now we have got the child. Come on, let's go on back to our our place in the hut near the jungle. So they went back, and the story goes that after some time she conceived again and the same thing happened. Another child came in the same way on the highway. So they named the first boy as Mahapanthaka and the younger one as Chula Panthaka. Now, these boys grew with the village boys. Now all the village boys, you see, they had their parents. So whenever they will play about, they will say, oh, my father has done this, my mother has done this, so-and-so is my uncle, so-and-so is my grandfather, my grand-uncle, and so on. Now these two boys did not have any such relatives. So they will be asked, you see, where is your father? They said, yes, this so-and-so is my father and mother. What about your grandfather? What about your uncle? What about your other relatives? They couldn't say. So they would come back rather very unhappy and tell the mother, see, they are all having their grandpas and grandmas, uncles and mamas and all that, and we have none. What is the history of our family? So the mother got very embarrassed each time the children asked these questions. And then, so it so happened that she decided at last, she said, look here, you see, parents have a very large heart, they will forgive somehow. And that is how both of them went back to Rajagaha, and just outside the gate, main gate of the city, there was a Dharamsala-like place where they stayed and sent an information to their parents. So the parents said, no, I can't have her in the family, she has disgraced the family and so on. So both of them should live out and make their own living, but I can take the children, they are my grandchildren. And I will give them sufficient money, let them make money, let them do business, just as I do, and come up in life. That is how, you see, these young people, they went and made their own fortune, they lived, and these two boys lived with the grandparents. Now Mahapanthaka had an inclination from his very young days. See, the grandfather used to go and attend the discourse of the Buddha every evening. So this boy also would go with the grandfather and listen to the Dhamma. So he became so much interested and deeply impressed by the teachings of the master. He told the grandfather, he said, Grandpa, I want to become a monk. You know, as a householder, I can never become a perfect person. There is so much of involvement in so many hundred ways, and we are always in the karma bandhanam, in the bondage of karma. So the only way to get out of the bondage of karma will be by renouncing the worldly life. Worldly life itself is born of karma, and it's in a network of karma. It's totally entangled with karma. So let me please go and become a monk, he said. So the grandfather said, well, my dear, when you say so, very good, I will take you to Bhagavan, and if he takes, you are most welcome. That is how he became a monk, and very soon he became an Arhat. Now the question here is, what kind of dormant spirituality he had within himself that enabled him, first of all, to become an Arhat so soon. You see, when he was still a youth. And then a person who was destined to become an Arhat, how come he was born in such a miserable way? On the way, with the parents, you see, not really properly married or anything like that, they had eloped. It was an illegal type of living. Now, these are questions, very, very profound questions. There are billions and billions of people in this world having all kinds of such tangles, and they can't disentangle them. So they get involved in all kinds of ways and suffer themselves and make their own people suffer because of unknowing. So this unknowing, avidya, not knowing the reality behind, not clearly understanding what is behind the fate, or what they call the fate, or the destiny that a person goes through. Why this person with so much of spirituality within as a dormant force has to undergo that kind of suffering? Now, the younger boy also similarly the same thing. So anyhow, the younger boy, Chula Panthaka, the younger Panthaka, he told his brothers, brother, you have become a Bhante, you have become a saint, and it's such a wonderful thing. I also want to become, please, a monk. Will you please make me a monk? He thought, he said, look here, grandfather wants, he loves you a lot. So he said, no, grandfathers, we were all born on the road, both of us. Now there must be something in life that we must have done something terrible to meet with such a destiny. Now I want to get out of all this karma and I want to become a monk. So the brother said, okay, all right, when you say this, and this is definitely word of wisdom that comes out of your mouth, so I will make you a novice monk. So he made him a novice monk. Now, then he gave him to study the Dhamma, some gathas from the Dhammapada. Just 4-line gatha, a verse. Let us say, Mano Pubbangama Dhamma, Mano Settha Mano Maya, Manasache Paduttena, Bhasati va Karoti va, Tatonang Dukkhamanveti, Chakkang va Vahato Padang. Just 4-line, you see, 4 meter, a gatha is a verse. Very profound. He says, mind is the forerunner. Mind precedes everything, every formation, every karma formation. Before you commit any action, kayena vacha manasa, there is something happening in the mind already, in the form of an intention to do something, in the form of a will to do. A volition, a will, you see, to do something, or say something, or think. So, now, if a person motivated by, you see, impelled by such a will to do a wrong thing, or say a wrong thing, something bad and unwholesome, then suffering is definitely bound to follow that person in the way that the bullocks that pull the bullock cart, the wheel behind the bullock dogs the bullock all the time. The bullock cannot get out of it. The wheel behind, all the time behind. Similarly, if a person does good, like the chaya, the shadow of the body, wherever the person goes, the shadow also follows. So, an evil deed follows like the wheel of the bullock at the auction, the wheel dogging the auction. And here, any good thing that we do, also the result thereof, like a shadow, will follow. Now, these 2 gathas, let us say, like that, 4-line gathas, these the Mahapanthaka, his elder brother, gave. So, Chula Panthaka, try as he might, day in and day out, he tried his level best to by heart to memorize this 4-line verse. But try as he must, he went on doing from morning till evening. Somehow, after, with great difficulty, when he had learned 2 lines, and he went to the 3rd line, the 1st line disappeared. He just couldn't remember. So if he somehow succeeded to bring back to memory the 1st line, the 2nd line, then the 3rd line also. When he went to the 4th, the 1st and 2nd disappeared, or the 3rd disappeared. So he went on doing this for 4 long months, and he just could not learn these 4 lines. So the elder brother was saying, but he did not have the capacity to probe into his past, deep, deep past, to discover what is it that is obstructing this young monk from learning these 4 lines. He didn't have that, though he was Arahat, but he didn't have that vast and, very profound and deep insight by which he could probe into the cause that, that is now acting as an obstructive karma. There is functioning, a karma as a function, functioning as something which obstructs. So, he told the brother, he said, look here, you have done some terrible karma in the past. You have got some bad karma as a store in the store of your consciousness. You have this, it is a potent bad karma, a dormant force that's obstructing your progress. You can't learn even 4 lines. How can you become a monk, a learned monk who is master of the Tripitaka and all that sort of thing? How can you help others to know the Dhamma when you yourself can't know? So he went on reasoning like this with the brother, and one day he says, look here, nothing doing, I am now quite certain that you have to have some more punya. You must acquire more punya in order to be able to, outbalance the store of bad karma that you have got. You see, good karma, punya can, it can outdo, it can overcome the power of the bad karma. That was the logic that his brother gave. So he said, well, maybe that is true. I must have acquired a lot of bad karma, and that is now working as obstructing my progress. So he says, I must acquire a lot of punya because my grandfather is very, very rich. I will go and give a lot of dana, this, and I will keep the uposatha sila, this, that. So he said, okay, when my brother says, I will go. So he said, look here, you have to go out tomorrow morning. So that evening, what it so happened, the Jivaka, the great doctor Jivaka who looked after Bhagavan himself, who served Bhagavan, and he had a mango grove, some hundreds and thousands of mango trees. It's a big, big estate of mango, very famous mango trees, mango fruits. So he had donated that entire vana, the mango grove, to the Sangha, saying, may Bhagavan grace that place and stay there as and when Bhagavan, you see, is here in this place. So it was at the foothill of the hills that surrounded Rajagaha. So the Buddha at that time was staying there, and Chula Panthaka, Mahapanthaka, they were all staying with the master. So when the brother, now that evening it so happened, the brother had told him to go away next morning. So that evening, Jivaka had sent his manager or whatever it is, some big, he said, you go and invite 500 arhats for tomorrow's meal, with the Bhagavan at the head. So the Mahapanthaka was in charge of this feeding program. So he was the one to decide which monk can go for this invitation, to attend the invitation. So he said, look, I have 499 monks here today. So I can only accept the invitation of 499, but not 500. Now this Chula Panthaka heard. He said, my brother has excluded me from going to Jivaka's home for a dana, for a alms meal. So he was very, very hurt. He says, what evil have I done that I don't deserve to be invited, though I am a monk? So whole night he cried. He was very, very unhappy. So anyhow, next morning the brother had asked him, look here, you quit in the morning after your morning meals, you quit.